Guys, it's Janie. This is going to be like the second series of clay. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to do some of these molds, and I'll see how far I get. It may be in parts, but I'm not sure. But it's with the amazing mold putty, and like I said, you can get it at Hobby Lobby for, it's 20, but you can use 40% off. I haven't found it at Joann's. I don't know if Michael's or Joann's carries it now. They could. I don't know. But I thought we could mold a few things. I've got these little keys. I think I got these on Amazon. It says love, peace, and faith on there. That won't show up because they're real tiny. The indents in the keys aren't indented enough, but they're different styles. That's kind of cool. I think I do the most difficult. Might as well, right? Okay. I thought we'd do a couple of feathers here. I know my last video I kept saying they were leaves, and some were, but I bet some were feathers too. Marion pointed that out to me, but okay, so that's a feather. I know it came off a dream catcher. This, whatever. So those two. Then I'm going to do some locks. Since I'm doing a key, the only lock I have is this one, and I had rusted this to put in steampunk, but it doesn't really matter if it's rusted or not. And this one was an earring. So I'm going to do this lock and this lock. I'm going to do this cameo. I'm going to do this cross as a charm. I'm going to do a puzzle piece. I'm going to do probably 3 different puzzle pieces, but for now I'm just going to do this one. I do a little teddy bear. I'll do that key and do this little burst of something. But see, it was a charm to go on the bracelets, the wide strap bracelets. Do a little pair of scissors. I have even smaller ones. This is like an alligator clip. This is when I used to do hair. Back in '79, I got this well, of course, a long time ago. So it's actually vintage. This is definitely vintage, like me. So, and I'd like to do this, I guess, dragon thing. My friend gave me this. I guess her nephew gave her this, and she's like, I don't want it. So, but I need to take it off this chain, so... Well, no, I don't have to. I'll do it. And then I want to do the hot air balloon. And also I would like to do the cookie, the Oreo, the small one and the large one, because I'd like to bake these up and get them all baked and cooled. Later, probably the next video or so, we'll go ahead and make like chocolate chip cookies and Oreos, but for now I'm just gonna mold them up and bake them, because I have a whole pan that I showed you and it's ready to be put in the oven. So I'll just get these done too and put those in. And then the cupcakes, the bottoms, I said you can use the toothpaste caps to do these, and it'll be the same principle. I'm not going to put another one in because I think I have like 5 or 6 of these already. Same principle. And then also the little muffin tops. You don't have to use molds. You can do the muffin tops by hand to fit the bottoms if you want. You can do these muffin tops by taking a marble and shaping the clay around the marble. It's a little bit iffy because you have to put the cornstarch here in with the mold maker when you do this, the amazing mold putty, so you can get this out a little easier. I'll show you that. There's an Oreo I was just messing with. It's not the right color, but Oreo. Oh, this was a long time ago. I was going to use that. Another thing I'd like to do is take this. It was a stamp. I mean I don't know if it was some material or something that I pressed in. Got this really cool texture. I'd like to take and see if this works, like roll a ball of the mold putty and put it on there to indent it, because that would be pretty cool, I think, as a stamp too. We'll try it. Before we do that, I want to show you, I said I'd show you the tub. This is the tub I made for a house that I'm building. It was the first thing I did. But this is all clay. See, I put the little bottoms on there, and then I painted these freehand. I watched a video on this. What it is they put resin. I said I never worked with resin. That's how long ago this was. I didn't even remember it was in there. They filled the tub halfway after the tub was made and baked with this resin and let that set, and then went ahead and took the resin, and then these are a mixture of beads, glass beads, all different sizes. Mixed it in, poured it in the tub with the other resin, because you wouldn't want to mix it with the beads because you can't see on the bottom anyhow. It's just a waste. But in the video I saw, her tub had cracked, and I think mine did here, but I was able to cover it up because, you know, you let the bubbles kind of come over there. And this took me forever. This thing out of gold. I made like a, you know, it's an old-fashioned tub. So I took and attached it to there, and then this comes around. See, if I pull hard enough, it could, and if it breaks, it doesn't matter. I'll just put it back on. But see, can you see the little handle right there? And then this is the spout, and I put white clay, and I put the little roses that, if you want to call them roses, that were on here to match, like a porcelain, like the porcelain would be up here handle. Now, if you were going to play with this, it wouldn't be a good idea. So it sets on there like this. Yeah, well, it's supposed to. Get over there. Okay, and there's the little spigot right there. There it is. So yeah, that's my tub. But I stopped working on the house. My friend is a retired carpenter, and she helped with a lot of that stuff. And the house from Joanne's is a Victorian house. It's huge. It was not cut right when it came. Everything did not go, because you have to follow instructions, of course. It was not matching up. Now this is probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago we started this. Nothing matched. She had to recut a lot of the wood pieces. Good thing, because I don't do math. Forget it. So it was a real job. I'll show you that sometime. Okay. This is the mold putty. Comes in, ooh, 2 containers. There's little instructions here. The big thing is you have to kind of estimate, you got to have equal parts no matter what from these. It's real soft. You have to determine how much is needed for whatever you are going to mold. There is a couple of things I'm going to mold. They're a little bit larger, so I want to get the small ones done first. These 2 will make a lot of molds. Well, you saw the molds I showed you in the previous video. And also the working time is 2 to 3 minutes to mix them both together. I'd suggest you kind of hurry it along. Not that I've ever done it. I've worked it up to at least 2 minutes, but I wouldn't test it. So open these. Like I said, this is what we're gonna, you don't need the cornstarch until you do put the clay inside the molds, like this one that's done. We'll go ahead later and I'll do some clay in these molds too when they're all done. We'll see what we can do. So, okay, let's do this little cross. Now I was going to do a few, and then because it takes about 20 minutes to set up, I think I'll be safe with these. And then I'll go and we'll take them out. So I'm going to take this out. Now see, that's a cross. And you need it deep enough, set in, but not too deep, because the deeper you go, the thicker it's going to get. That's not always good. So, and it's okay before you mix them to kind of eyeball. Who knows, that might be too big, but we'll see. Oh, and if it is way too big or small for what you're molding, that's why you need to set a few pieces aside, because you can always then grab something else. Don't waste it. I mean, you can if you want. Okay. Start mixing. Mix, mix. See how it's colored? It's just like soft clay. See, it mixes pretty easy, but we want to make sure that white is really mixed in. So, mixing. That's good. Go ahead, mix it, put it in, make a ball from it. Make sure all the little cracks, like there's a crack here, try to get those out of there, because I've done that. I don't know. You just make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I think that cross will be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom this. Let's see here. I went ahead and got my wireless mouse so I could put it on the opposite side. Okay, well, that didn't zoom that much. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to lay it on that ball, and I'm just going to press it in. You can take a ball tool, anything to press on that. Now, if I were to really shove that down, it's going to be, now see, it's crooked. That's nice. Okay, well, it's probably going to be thicker than I want, but that's okay. Now, it's going to take it up a little higher, but we could take care of that later. You want to make sure that this is along the edges. You don't want to like leave it out, because then it won't form around the cross. So just kind of work. Make sure it's really along the edges. When you see what I mean, the thicker, the deeper it is, it's going to be thick. Now, that looks crooked. So, there. Okay, I'll set that. I'm going to leave it alone. I can leave these open. Let's do this little teddy bear. You take equal portions of this. Ooh, got a little yellow in here, not good. Okay. Start setting up on you. Looks good. Okay. Start mixing. Got 3 minutes or under. It's funny when you have a time, you know, you need to kind of like try to hurry up. I guess that's a good thing. Kind of like when I play music in the background, it makes me, go fast, which is kind of a good thing sometimes. Mix it up. Well, it looks pretty good. Roll it. And you gotta look to make sure all the cracks pretty much are out. Now, let's take our bear and put it down this time. I have something to hold on to. Just make sure it's pretty even, flat, before you start pushing. Go right in the center like this, and then just press it down. Now I don't want to go too deep. Like I said, I'd like to make charms out of these, so I don't want to make them really thick. Now, it looks pretty good around the edges. This one pulled away a little. So just gently press. Make sure it's on there. Set that. Let's see, it's 5. Just want to make sure I'm not way over on. I don't think it's going to hurt if you left them over the 20-minute mark to set up, but I'd rather not. Okay, these are a little bit larger, so maybe we'll do the cameo. Mix it up. Yeah, I'll go into doing the clay in the molds, these and the other ones, a couple of them, and of course show you what you can do with them. Oh, one more thing before we bake these, on the pan there, I want to show you what you can do with the pastels. I almost forgot. You have, if you're going to do pastels to color, you do it before you bake it. Okay, the acrylics you do after. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, this is the button. Doesn't have a back. You can cut the little shank off if you have the shank there. So I'll put it, this might be kind of big, but okay. Push it down in there. Again, I don't want to make mine too thick. I could have probably made this ball a little bit bigger or did something else, because I can feel this back is going to be a little thin. And I think I showed you in the one video about the one owl I had. The mold kind of came through. But now you can push these up a little bit. Just push the edges up so it sort of hugs whatever you're molding. See? Just like that. Another one out. But this really does make a lot of mold, so it's well worth the money. But again, that's because I use a coupon, so. Okay, nope. And yeah, I know, everybody asked. I did try to mold Rick, but you know, he wouldn't stay still. He's not on my lap this time. Okay, that looks about even. It's got an oil to it, I feel. To see what it's made out of, but it's an oily substance. Okay, mix, mix. I'm way under the 3-minute mark when I do these, so I'm fine. You just want to really make sure you do it, and all this white and yellow are both mixed in. And then you roll it in your hands. Make a nice round ball. Now, if I do something long like the scissors or the keys, I would make it, of course, a longer, not a round mold. Okay, so let's do, okay, that's not all that big. Come on, Janie, what? let's do this. Quick thinker. I'm going to do this lock right in the middle. It's nice to have that little point on there, even though it's crooked, to push it down. Oh, it's really crooked. Okay. Okay. Now that I come up here, now that I have it pushed down, check it. Okay, it's pulled away, not pulled away, but it's not grabbing on the sides. So, which is, you just want to make sure you press it. Don't press it over the sides, and then you'd mess it up. It wouldn't come out very well. There we go. Okay, now hurry along if I can. Do a bigger one here. Try the balloon. Balloon is a wood balloon, but it's pretty cool. Still need this. This really has a lot of oil. Wow. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, this is probably going to take a little bit more mixing. And I'm watching the clock. Like I said, it's 15 to 20 minutes setup. If you left it 25, maybe even 30, I'm sure it would be fine. But if you can, watch the clock. You can mold. I mean, I showed you all the molds I did. So I was hunting around the house for different things to mold. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. Okay. So now I think I'll do like this. I'm looking for my, where did I put it? Okay, I'm looking for this. This is the roller, the acrylic roller for the clay. I'm going to flatten this just a little bit. I could have done it with my hands, actually. You know what? Darn it. That's not enough for this. Let's do the puzzle piece. I'm just afraid. Okay, I'm going to take this ball tool and press in the middle. You see that? Pressing in the middle. I'll press on the edges. Just to make sure it's even. Press the edges a little bit around their sides. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I have a die cut that's puzzle pieces, but they're really little, and I just thought, I'll try this and see. Okay, let's do the balloon now. I'm going to have to get more. I hate doing this. It's like, oh man, I'm going to use so much of it. But well, if you're going to do a larger piece, you're going to need more. That looks about right. I don't know if you can see the oil. Look at that. It's really oily in here. I'll have to show you, I said my video prior to this about sanding, about wet sanding. That you need to sand in the water, starting from a thicker to a, not a thicker, rough sandpaper to a finer sandpaper, wet sandpaper. And that's for if you want to make it super shiny without using gloss. It really works good, but I did a little contraption. You'll probably laugh at it, but hey, I'll show you in another video. Yeah, I made my own. You'll know when it's sort of not worked, when it cracks, when you do this. Look at, see that? That's not good. So now it's going to, now I'm starting to run out of time. If you run out of time and it still cracks, oh well, you're just going to have to do it. I'd hate to waste this, but okay. Put that down, face down. That's the top. I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to press it. That's plenty. Press it down. Okay. See it? Now what I'm going to do, see that right here? I'm going to take that edge and just take that edge and push it up along that. I don't want to smash it down even more. Now, can you see right here? Along here, that's probably going to be a little thick. It's already done, but I'm just going to take it and push it up and in so it molds to the shape. You can always fix it later. Okay, now let's do some scissors. Okay, that looks good. Sticking to my glass mat. It's all smeary. Not very clean. I was just looking over there of other things that I've got a lot to mold. But I don't think I'm going to have enough of this to mold all of everything, but that's okay. We'll just do what we can here. Okay. Now, since I want to do the scissors, I'm going to kind of make it like that. Oblong. Take the scissors, and it's okay, this back is on there. Put it evenly, press it in the mold. And I don't want this very thick either, so hopefully that'll. Okay, let's see how that works. I used to be really, really fussy about this, and I've ruined things because I'm like, oh, that's not enough, oh, that's too much, you know, and then by the time I'd have this huge ball of this stuff, or I ran out of working time, I wasted it. You know what? If the molds don't work, I mean, save another 20 bucks, get yourself a coupon. You know, there's not much you can do except for try it out. Okay. See, it's real. See, ooh, it's really creamy. Okay, roll it. Pretty good. Let's do the small key because I think I can get away with that. Now, if I pressed it in a little bit too much, I can also pry it away from the key a little bit. And you know, some of these I know are not going to be straight. Like, that is a little deeper than that side, but that's okay. Looks like that edge needs to come up a little more. Okay, with that done, hello. that. Let's see. A little bit more than that here. Okay, good. I want to make that key there. I have an awful lot of key molds, but a few of these I want to try. And I don't have. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to look for the, okay, this is the right side. So that goes down. You know, if you did the back, I don't think it'd make that big of a difference, but I don't want to press this in very much because I don't want a thick key. I don't want to have to sand it off either. So I'm going to try that. Push that up a little bit. If you want a thick key, you can. Okay, good. Okay. It's going to be 20 minutes when I'm done, so we can go ahead and start taking the other ones out. I don't even have to pause the video. Hey. If you don't like watching molds, you can fast forward. I never do. I always watch everybody do this, but you know, you get the gist of it. But since I have this out, I might as well do the molds. If you saw what I have over on this side, you'd be like, oh, it's like 20 more items. They're small, but this one's iffy. I'm not going to start it again, but I see some white in there. That might be iffy. That's okay. I'm going to do the lock. That's a little bit big for the lock. Oh well, that's okay. Yeah, a little big. That's okay. You know, I'm going to make the big one here. Let's do the stamp. I'll wait on these three. I do want to do the cookie. Okay. Well, actually, I don't need the cookie for a mold because I have a mold. I still have the original cookie. It's not moldy or anything, but that's just, I don't know why I'm keeping it, you know, because if I need another one, then I just use my Oreo molds, put clay in there, bake it up. I mean, it's not like, and I think I have 4 molds of the Oreo, and the big and the small, so I have plenty. And when you do the molds of the cookies, don't, like, this is the one mistake I did, don't take 2 separate tops like of a cookie, because what will happen is if you have 2 molds of a separate cookie, they could be different, and when putting them together, if you're like me and you get really like you want them to be perfect, they won't be. Oops, I was making a stamp. Okay, let's see. Where should we go? Oh, okay. There was something over here. I'm just going to set it on there and press it. Probably could have used a little bit more, but I'm testing this and I need something to grab onto when I stamp. I want to pull it off. I almost pulled it off, but see, you can't. If you want it to mold, you got to let it sit there. I forgot. If it doesn't work, oh well. Okay. There we go. I'll probably go ahead and I'm going to take a few of these out and show you, but a couple other ones I'm going to let set a little bit. Oh, jeez. Messy. I'll clean that off later. Okay. Let's do the cross. Oh. See, now that's good and solid. So what you do is just work it like this. It'll pop out. If you need to, take tweezers and you can try to grab some of it or just put it underneath. Okay, there it goes. And you know, I got this little line, but you can fix it, see? We'll see when we do the clay, that'll show how it really looks. Some of it, you know, you wouldn't be able to tell. This is real firm too. I do have needle nose, but of course I put them away. Surprise, I'm going to take this. It popped right out. And a little teddy bear, look. Isn't it cute? Because I like to do the clay to show you what that looks like. Okay, this is the, yeah, that's solid. That popped right out. It's the little locket earring. Let's see, this was the cameo. So you can bend it. See, look, it popped right out. See that? Isn't she cool looking? Pretty. You know the possibilities for these? You know, who is it? Prima. They have the resin, I guess it's the resin pieces for embellishing. These really are strong. The clay is strong. If you're not too rough with it, I'm sure they'd be fine. Yeah, see that? Look at the puzzle. Isn't that cool? Okay. Let's see. This one feels pretty good. But yeah, so, oh, popped right out. Okay, cute. I also have some air dry clay. I'll let those set for a couple of minutes here. Bacon bend. It's old. I don't even know it's any good. I don't think I've ever even tried it. I must have, but I don't. Yeah, see, this isn't even open. Some of it is. Okay, so you go ahead and bake this. It says 285 at 20 minutes. Let's see. Yeah, so basically the same. But it's 285 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes for every 1/4 of an inch. So it's just like most of the other brands. It's just the timing can be a little bit different. You just need to read your packages. Let's see. They're still soft. Maybe we'll have to work with that one. Also, I just have this here. Clay. Well, there it is. Just wanted to show you. I wasn't going to do this, but might as well. I also have, this is the only mold, store-bought mold where you can do letters. I didn't think about that, but you could probably just go ahead and, what you would do you'd have to take the mold maker, if you wanted to, or I keep saying mold maker, putty, put it in there and let it set, take it out, and see, there would be your letter. Now, the only problem is, these are backwards, not backwards, yeah, backwards. So if I press this, okay, I could turn them this way. That's a 9. Okay, so see, there you go, it's a 9. What I was going to say is you can then, yeah, you could take your piece of clay, like this one, after I were to bake it, then I could take this and put it in the mold putty. You know, roll the ball, put this, let it set, and I would have a mold for this 9, which is, I already got this. But if you wanted the second one, you could. Now this is kind of cool. I'm going to show you this. It's a garlic press. I think, right, an old one when I was younger. But if you don't like to roll, if you want like perfectly even snakes for making like your chocolate chips for your cookies, which I'll show you that. I have some made. Watch. Squeeze. Ooh. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Doll hair, yeah. And you could take your here and cut them off. I don't want to cut into my mat, so I'm only going to take part of them. See? And you got your little snakes, see? And then you bake them, then you can chop them up, use them for chocolate chips. It's a little bit thin, so I don't think so. I think it's a little thin for doing the chips, but if the cookies were small enough, you could. And like I said, with this, you don't have to hurry up with this clay because you can leave it out. A lot of people leave them out, but I don't because of the dirt dust. I'll clean that up later. I just would not want that in my clay. Okay. Take these out. Here's our scissors. It made some marks, but that doesn't matter. It's flexible. And T, we all know T, Teresa Sims. She has a channel. Go check her out. She's cute. She told me a little, she said, go ahead after these are done and put a little bit of baby oil in here before you use it. And she says it'll help when you go to clean them, and I guess like as it's setting here, it maybe does something, and then it'll help with the cleaning of clay or colors or whatever. But guess what? I don't have any baby oil. Okay. Oh well. There is another one, another key. I think, you know what, I think it's going to pop out. Yep, see? Yeah, and like I said, I didn't want it too deep because now this looks like it's setting up. Can you see this is setting up? This is deeper. So I pushed this in more. You know, work with it. It's not going to be like it's that noticeable. There's the lock. Ooh, you know what? That's not set up yet, and I hope that it's not because I didn't blend this well enough. See? Oh, now I got a dog hair. Okay. I'm going to leave that one alone. I wonder if that's because, see, this is set up really well. Well, okay, it's going to pop. Yep, there it comes. Pop. Nope. I don't want to rip it out. I have to rip it out. And come on out here. Get out here. Let's see. There. Look at that. Cool, huh? And all, like I said, all these little lines, after you, and I'll show you after putting the clay in there and taking the clay out, if there's any lines that need to be more defined, you can do that. I mean, like I said, you get as much time as needed before you bake it with the clay. It's not going to dry out. Okay, so let's set that. I'm going to have to let these set. I think I'll leave the locket set, and then I'm going to let this stamp set too. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and then we can put some clay in these molds, and then that way I can put them with the other clay that I showed you in the last video that needs, it's over there's a lot to be baked, and then I can bake them and I'll show you the pastels. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I did a few molds, put some clay in there, and then I'll do a few here. But this is what I did. I did one side of the Oreo, which, I don't know if you can see that. The light's not quite right on here, but if you can see that Oreo. It's zoomed in all the way. I'd have to bring the camera down. And here's the other side. One thing I get a little particular about smoothing this clay out, problem is, if you're going to hold it like this, you're going to tend to squeeze here, and then this part of the Oreo flattens out, and you don't want that. So what I thought was I would take, and because I need to put this stuff in and bake it, but I would make two sides, of course, to the Oreo, and then bake it with the other things that we need to bake. And then when I then come back and make the middle for the Oreo, take the two sides that I already baked. So they'll be hard. Then I could put the middle in and squeeze it a little bit, smooth it out, put the screw pin, and I'll show you that later. If you want to make a charm, you don't have to. Put it back into the oven, because remember I said that, say on this balloon, if I wanted to put different colors, okay, and one thing when you do clay in these molds, and it's all ready to go, and I'll show you what I do, put it in the freezer for about 5 minutes. Bring it out, pop it out, and then you can cut along the bottom if, you know, you had extra clay on there, shape it up, then it's ready to bake. If you don't put it in the freezer, I mean, you don't have to, It's depending on the how soft the clay is. Some is softer than others. It's kind of hard to work with because if it is too soft, what you can do is take the clay before you do anything with it and like this, flatten it out like this, and you can put it on a sheet of paper, put another sheet of paper over it. You don't want to use wax paper or anything like that because the whole purpose of doing this is to absorb some of the oils or whatever that's in this clay, to take those out so the clay will be stiffer. So you put the paper on top and bottom, put something heavy on there, and just leave it for a while. I mean, you can go back about an hour and check it, and you'll see the oils on the paper, and it should become stiffer. If the clay is too hard when you take it out, you can put, like, take this, don't take the whole thing, take pieces, you do in small sections, put in 1 drop of oil. You can do that. Or, like I said, I use the mold maker, and it's in a little package, which of course I lost. There it is. This. And you just need a pinch, just a pinch. I really, really love this stuff because it really softens the clay up if the clay's too hard. Like I said, you could do a drop of baby oil and mix it in. If it needs a little bit more, put a little bit more in. So it depends on what you like. But you don't want to put a whole bunch of stuff in there because then you're just breaking down the consistency of the clays. You don't want to really do that. But like I was saying about this, if you wanted to, say, make a mold, and then you say, well, I was going to make it like a balloon and attach strings, and then a basket if you wanted, what you can do is make the mold, pop it out, bake it, and I will go and show you the different clays that I have and what the directions say on those. But after you're done baking and it cools, you can come back and take your clays and attach it to the part that's already baked. And you'll see it when I do this cookie, and you know that'll be the next video. Attach the strings and the basket, put it back in the oven for 15 minutes, or unless your basket is super thick, then you do it according to, you know, how thick it is. I mean, so it's okay to keep putting baked pieces of clay back into the oven to keep adding on things if you'd want to. So that's perfectly okay. So anyway, and I'm trying to not be so particular about how smooth this is. You can kind of see that, how a little bit lumpy there. It doesn't matter. I mean, just smooth this out. But if the Dremel works, that'll be perfect, because I really don't have to be particular about doing this. You can use an emery board probably too. It just try to make it as smooth as you can. And I'm going to show you that you don't have to just use dark. Now here's a baby. Isn't it cute? Little baby one. Let's see. This is a tile from Home Depot. I showed that too. You can see, that's the baby. Pretty dark. You know what an Oreo looks like. That's it. Okay, so that'll be baked. Then I did the little keys. Key and a lock. Now, one thing. One problem with the key mold that we did, or I did, don't make them so thick like this one here, way too much of the mold putty. You don't need that much. Plus, I found out that it was, see, there's too much clay on either side. See that? So after I put the clay in, I was like, you know, because you can't see how stiff that is. So I had a heck of a time getting that out. You don't want to, you can take stuff, you know, what I did is try to get something on the edge to kind of prop it up. It will work, but then you don't want to distort the whole item that you're baking or molding. But what you do is you take this, and I'll show you cornstarch. Put a little bit on the bottom. After it's done, then you put it in the freezer. It'll pop out easier. Don't put a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. So that was one little mistake. I don't think you need it this thick. So see, you got to practice with it because you don't want it thick and you don't want it too thin because then you're going to get a hole. Okay, so a little mold from my Oreo, which there's the Oreo cookie from before I took it. Well, it's a cookie. It's a cookie top. Real cookie. I have no idea why I'm saving these. But, and if it leaves some cookie crumbs, you can just, you know, the mold, it's okay. You can take them out, or if they stay in there when they bake, you can take it. It doesn't matter. And then I did the little Teddy Graham too, which they didn't do anything. So they were good. So don't worry about crumbs. So I'm going to do pink, rose. Now, being that some of these were not in the packages, I'm not real sure what brand it is, but this is a real pretty color. This is Sculpey. And let's see. Oh, gotta keep taking my glasses off, putting them on, reading glasses. Jeez. This is Sculpey. And it's called Tranquility. It's a really pretty color. This bakes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. And for every 1/4 of an inch of clay, it's 15 minutes. So, now, I did find out every oven is different. I got myself an oven thermometer and I hung it on the little rack there because I preheat my oven to 275. It beeps, the beeper that, no. I check and it's like 250 maybe, not even. So it takes longer, and you want to kind of make sure that it's at 275, if it says 275 at least, because I'm trying to find, okay, this Primo here, it's made by Sculpey, but it's going to be a different feel. What does it even say? Turquoise. Now, Primo, 275, but it's 30 minutes for a 1/4 of inch of clay. 15, 30, I go in the middle. I do 20. Unless it's super thick, then you have to go ahead and bake it accordingly to how thick your clay is. Another brand is Fimo. I think they have another one too that's super soft out there. I can't remember what it's called, darn it. But it's really soft, but you know, you got your preferences. This is Fimo. They have Fimo Soft. This is Lemon. Now, this has directions right here. It's 230 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. But you know what? I put this in with the Sculpey. Leave it at 275. Do it about 15 to 20 minutes depending on the thickness of the clay. Go with that. because if you were using all kinds of clay, you'd be taking things out, putting them in, taking them, don't worry about it. Unless your clay's all dried up when you bring it out, then you might want to adjust it. You guys craft, you'll know. This is an Oreo, the Oreo mold. I labeled them 3. Now, like I said, do the top and the bottom the same with one mold and bake them first. I mean, I would do that because then when you do the middle, you won't distort this. Okay. So, I take a little bit of the cornstarch. Let's take it like this and put it in the Oreo. Just go like this. Just helps with sticking. I blow the stuff out. Okay. Now, it's better if you can estimate again how much to put in there, because if you put too much in, then you got to cut it out, take it out. You can always add. Now I put it in there and flatten it. Now see how it picked up? Look. So be careful when you get used to it. Put it in there. Kind of put it along the... It's going to want to pick up. What I do is I take some of this and put it on my finger, the cornstarch. I just try not to use a whole bunch because I don't want it to get into the mixture of the clay so much and then break it down or make it too dried out too. Because I'll take my roller and just roll it like that. I'll see that's kind of dented in right there. Just take a little bit more clay. Really, in the end, when you put the cream filling in there, you're not gonna notice. You really won't. If you do, well then, next time, be more careful, I guess. I'm kind of picky that way. Now, I flatten that out, but see the edges? I'm going to bring them in like that, because then when I pop this out, I'm not going to have so much work trying to even it out. Now that is something you want to do. Make sure it's all even like this. That looks pretty good. Like I said, this in the end, you're not going to see that. It's going to be in the underneath part of the cookie, the top or the bottom. You can smooth it out if you want. Take a little cornstarch, smooth it out. But again, just see, it really does help. But again, experiment. If your clay crumbles after it's baked or whatever, then you probably use too much cornstarch. But it does help. It really does. Okay, I'm going to leave that. That's okay. Now, after this is when you put it in the refrigerator or the freezer for about 5 minutes or so. If you leave it longer, it doesn't matter. Let's see. I wanted to do this puzzle piece, but I didn't want to do one color, so maybe I figure a little bit of rose. I've got some extra clay in here. Oh, I've got rose in here too, brown. I don't know, that one. A little yellow, because you know the puzzle piece, I mean, you can paint it if you want when it's all finished. I'm going to show you the pastels before we put them in the oven, how to shade them. I've got my pastels here. I don't know how much that would do for a puzzle piece. You can see. Maybe a little bit of this blue. A little bit of this blue. Have fun with it. So like this. So, I don't know. I've not done the puzzle piece before, so yeah, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, okay. Flatten it out. Oh, let's stick some in there. It's going to be like an abstract looking thing, yeah. Oops, sticking my fingers, okay. This is another color blue. Put this yellow in here. It's going to be a wild looking thing. And there's videos on making a cane. And then you like, I tried, there used to be, I don't know if she's on there, I'm sure she is. Her name's Sugar Plum Charms or something like that. She does a lot of different clay, food, and it's amazing. It is amazing. So look her up. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We'll see when it comes out. Like I said, experiment. I'm going to put this in too when I put it in the refrigerator. But there's canes that you can do. I'm going to show you. See, this is this pan, remember, from yesterday? Oh, here's this frog. I never took out. It's a button. I forgot. Here he is. Real froggy. But I want to shade some of these and show you with the pastels. You just have to do it before you bake them. Okay, but, oh, my cup just fell over. These were all done before. This is like texture. Now this is for when I do the chocolate chip cookies. When you do your clay, if you're working on your clay, you can put it on here. That way, if you want the texture, it's not sitting down here on the glass and being flat. See? That was something else. Look at that. This was the mold maker. See how hard it is? Let's see what I get. Look at that. Cool, huh? Oh, there's my cookies. Hey, there's my little cookies. Ooh, okay, they're not supposed to be in there. Where are you? Put it over there with the rest of them. You can get these little things for your frosting. This is so old. Oh my gosh, let's see. I didn't open it yet. It's probably not even. Well, there's some left. Let's see. For when I do the cupcakes. Oh yeah, look at that. It's still workable. Oh my gosh, see? Oh, cool. What you do with this is and I'll show you too, in my next video, chop up some clay, and then you use, I've got the liquid Sculpey, just liquid clay, translucent. You pour some of that in, and you take the chopped up clay and you mix it real well. Usually you need to get something like the glass or this tile, because it's kind of a lot of work. And this is so, oh, like air, it's probably not good. But this is Bacon Bond, which you can use to put soft pieces onto harder pieces that are already baked. Yeah, it's supposed to act like a glue, I didn't care for it all that much, but you might. But this translucent Sculpey, the liquid Sculpey, is pretty nice to do that and to make your frosting. So we'll have frosting when we do the cakes and the cupcakes. That was in here. Okay, and then let's see, what else do I have? Oh, all these. This is what I meant by a snake. I took all kinds of different colors, and this was a couple years ago, and then baked them. Doesn't have to be perfect, of course. And then you can use these for your sprinkles. It's going to take a lot of work. Chop them all up with a sharp knife or a X-Acto knife. And I think I did that. Let's see. Oh, I don't know what that is. I think this might be it. Now there's some really, really fine sprinkles in that one. That's a little too fine. Here's some. See? I did that. I chopped them all up. Oops. See? Pretty cool. And made like for cakes and stuff. That's really neat. And you want to bake these first and then chop them up, of course. I mean, you can try it the other way. And this is what we use for the nails, and I'm sure you've seen these. They're little different slices. These look like these are hearts, smiley faces. These are little flowers. Let me take one out. Let's take a blue one. I mean, paper thin. See, it's a baby. It's a baby flower. But I also bought these in with fruit. They've got ones with little fruit. Like I said, you can look up videos and you can make your own canes, which basically this is. But you may see how too difficult for me. I tried to make tomato slices. Yeah, this is how they worked out. Because you got to put colors together. Oh, what these are. A bunch of colors standing up on this cane or log, and you got to roll it and bake it to be able to slice them. So it's it's a little difficult. I tried it. I got these little bottles. Contacts came in these from Korea. But some tomato slices that I did. Oh, orange. The orange for orange slices. Different sizes for cakes. Cool. Sometimes you can just even get a little bit of orange and then some white, mix it in, make it like a swirly color, roll it and then bake it. It pretty much looks like, you know, a fruit orange. That's just the other tomato slices. But I have like this little one that you can chop up with. Look at this is a razor blade, which, yeah, to chop them up. But I'll show you this too when we make them up. Okay, so we got those. Let's do this one. No. Let's do cupcake. Now, I don't know. Oh, 4 and 4. Okay, that's why I label these, because that's the bottom and this is the top of the muffin, cupcake muffin. Here's another one. This one is a little bit wider, the lines in there. 1 and 1. So I know they went together, because you can do it if you want to. You could take this number 1 bottom with a number 4 it's gonna be too big. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, I kind of fit them together accordingly. And I'm trying making a top without the molds too. I'll show you. This is a cupcake. Now, I like to do more of a tan. And this has sparkles in it. I have no idea why. Probably because I took another color, put it in there with sparkles. Get this off. The reason I like to do this is because you can take the pastels and shade it before you bake it, and then it won't be a flat color. If you want a flat color, you can use it if you want to, but I would rather not. And I'll show you how to put the cupcakes together with when we do the cookies. So I'm just showing you the bottom, and I'll show you the pastels, but I won't actually put the whole thing together today. Oops, nope, I forgot my cornstarch. Cornstarch, because this is a little deeper, see? Like I said, you don't have to put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, but it's gonna come out easier. Now, see all this clay that's in there? You can do it if you want to, but it's a little thick. So I roll it out, and I take a razor, or you can just, I kind of hold my thumb, just pick this off and try to see where the, and if you see the top of the muffin, like right there, just you could stuff more clay in there. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. But again, what I'm saying is, what I do is I take this, and it's what you're comfortable with. Kind of slice this. Extra clay, and each time you get closer and closer to the how much you're supposed to fit in there, and you can cut it off. When it comes out, you'll see. Get back in there, it's sticking. I always said on camera you're gonna see what happens, but you know, I'm sure it happens to everybody. Nothing's going to be perfect. I'm getting there. I'm trying. It's a good example not to be so perfect. So this is going to be the bottom, so I'll put that in the refrigerator or the freezer. Let's see. I've got the top to the little Oreo in the freezer right now, because I made, I think, okay, I have a brown one, and just to show you that you can make different colors. So when I put them together, I'll probably make another side that's dark, and like a pink one. I made pink ones, yellow ones, blue ones. They're real pretty. And then I'll get the little screws out and show you that, you know, you need to put those in too before you bake. But this time, instead of putting the cookie together and baking it, I'm going to bake the tops and the bottoms first. The next video, I'll show you the middle and how to put the top and the middle and the bottom together with the screw. I'll put it back in and bake it some more. I'm going to do this one. I don't know. I think I'll just do this purple. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Okay, get out here. Okay. So, do this purple. There's so many colors. There's so many colors. And that's the muffin top. I guess I should do that too. And that, I'll show you how to shade that and texture that. Okay, what I do is flatten it out a little bit. Put cornstarch, okay? Just blow out the extra. And then put that in there. If you want to dip your fingers like this in there, just so it's, mine are sticky. Work it in flat. Make sure you press this in so you're getting in the little crevices of everything, like for the key, you know, in here, because you got to get down to the bottom or you're not going to have the detail of what you molded. That one pretty good, huh? And when it comes out, oh, sorry, jeez. When it comes out, you can go ahead and form it better in the back. I mean, the front's going to count the most, but you do want the back to look halfway decent. Looks pretty smooth. And you can take more cornstarch, like I said. It works so well. And if it doesn't affect your clay, then use it, because, and like this we'll probably have to smooth when it comes out. And this is the top to the muffin. Okay, yeah, I use this. I'll make the top. And the reason I'm doing this is because, and popping him out of the mold, because I need to show you a little bit of the pastels and the texture, because after it's baked, you're done. I mean, you could use acrylic paint if you want, but I tried that a few times. But you practice, you'll be fine. I'm not that good at it, but I'll try. So that's the top. See? Okay, I think that's it. Oh, remember I did this? Pretty cool, but I'm thinking the problem may be, this is going to be our stamp, remember? It's indented a little bit, so that's why these molds, you saw what I did with making that one, some of them too, like I know I'm going to have problems with this. Look at this. This one's a little bit more pliable, but to pop it out. But anyway, I should have, instead of so flat, I should have made it more of a ball and then pressed it and not flattened it so much, because number one, it's indented. Number two, how am I, you know, it's more work. You have to put the ink on it, put it on your paper, and stamp it, which I'll show you. Now I've tried this from the mold maker, but it's okay. But yeah, I think this is better. I'm also going to put the leaves that I showed you on the other video that I made, the ones that stand up. I'm going to try to put that maybe, I've got some wood blocks. I took some of my rubber stamps off and put them on another sheet because I didn't want them on the big block. I have some of those. I may try gluing the leaf to a block and see how that works, because the leaf is fine, but it's on this thin, I mean, I can't hold on to it. So we'll do the stamp too. Okay. So I'm going to put these in the refrigerator, in the freezer. I keep saying refrigerator. You can put them in the refrigerator for 15 minutes, for 20, I don't care. But put these in, and I've got the tiny little cookie in there also. Put it in for about 5 minutes maybe, and then I will be back and show you what I have, show you what we do, and then we'll use the pastels. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I took these out of the freezer. Now again, I made these, and I'm going to try to hurry a little bit because if they get warm, you can stick them back in the freezer again. But they're just easier to do if they're cold. See, they pop out. Like, I'll go watch. Whoop, look it. But there's some rough edges here that I want to cut off. But you know what? I think what I'll do is pop them out. See, you can make any color Oreo you want. See, these would never pop out like this if they got warm. I just know it. Balloon, but see the extra? I want to cut that off. These are a little bit harder because they're deep. But see how they're coming out? Can you imagine if that was warm? I mean, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd be able to. I like to leave a little extra. So see, it's a little cupcake bottom. So all I'll do is cut this off, because then you got the cupcake top. Let's see. And this really needs to be thick, like, because it's deep, so you don't want it too thin on the bottom. It's your little cupcake top. So that'll be cut off, so that way they'll go together. And I'll blend it right around here. This is when a little bit of the liquid Sculpey comes in, because when you put them together and you blend the outer edge, and what I'll do is texturize this around the edge just to make it look like maybe a filling or something. It acts like a glue. Puzzle piece. Let's see, like that. I'll show you. Boop. There it is. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. That's pretty. Now what I do is I take my X-Acto knife and just cut away this extra. Let me get this bigger one. If you can get a sharp one and do a continual cut like that, if you can, it's better, because then you won't have so many rough edges here to smooth out. Or you can just go like this. Chop, pull, chop, 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 pull, chop, pull. I mean, you're just going to have a little bit rougher edges to smooth. I'm going to blend those. So, whichever you want. Okay, mine will be a little, you know, distorted, but that's all right. If I was going to fit the pieces together, I guess it would matter. There. What I do with the extra is just kind of put it together. It depends on what you want to do with it. Now I have the skinny one. You know what? I know what's missing. Oh, this is terrible. I'm taking my other glasses off, putting these on so I can see. Go around this edge in there to get that, try to get that excess off. And come back and smooth that a bit with the ball tool or something smooth. You can use a base to a paintbrush if you don't have any tools. Like say I wanted to smooth that out. Of course I can't do it. You could take a paintbrush and just go in there and smooth it out. Even these edges, see that? This is easier because well, if I hold on to it, I'm not gonna, it's not a lot of detail in the front that I'm gonna smash. Also, again, this helps with smoothing out your edges, and hopefully the Dremel will work, and that'll be cool. Ball tool. I mean, if you don't care, then you know, you don't have to sand them. I mean, blend it that much if you don't care about the uneven edges. Like I said, you're not gonna, if you don't put the puzzle together, what does it really matter? Just try to make it look halfway decent. Go in there and go to get this part. See, it's starting to get soft. You can see it moving in my hands. Go in here, that's kind of funky looking, doesn't matter. Just to make that part a little bit more smooth. I won't mess with it too much. This one's a little one, baby. I'm trying to look with my glasses. Jeez. I know I have other ball tools, but let me use this one. See, these are pretty cool to get to. They have them all in different sizes, the ball tools. They're not that expensive. My puzzle's distorted. You can move it back when you bake it. Okay. That's the back. Put it over on the pan to bake. Let's get these Oreos done. That one looks pretty good. I try not to cut too much off down here because a lot of times what I've done is I cut too much off of here and then it's made an indentation, which again, when you put them together and make a cookie out of it, are you really going to see it? Probably not a big deal. It just bothers me, like I just did there. See it? A divot. Smooth it out. It's really warming up. Now you can put this back in the freezer, harden it up again as many times as you want. That way it'll be easy to go back and do this. Let me get that other one and then I'll show you what I do with that. Okay, see the little edges right here? Some people do this, cut it off this way, see? Sometimes it'll slice off really nice if you have a sharp, ooh, this one's good, okay. That's working. Oops. Okay. I looked up, not good. I just made a big divot in there. Okay. That's good. Okay. Oh dear. Janie knows what she's doing, right? Yeah. Too much for Janie. Silly. Silly. Okay, good enough. I already made a big mark in there. I'll just have to make more of a filling when I put the filling in, right? If you're that picky, you can take clay and put it back in here, but you're gonna have to really mess with it. But when we put our cookies together tomorrow, I mean the next the next little series, what I'll do is I'll take the cupcakes and these cookies, and I'll make the center for these cookies. We'll put them together and put the eye screw, I don't know what they're called, I'll show you, in the center so we can bake it, because you bake it right in there in the center for the charm, because it's metal or wood. That's good enough. And then I'll show you how to make the chocolate chip cookies and the cupcake. I think that's it. Or whatever else I can think of. Okay. Oops. Get out of there. Okay. I'm just trying to slice these off before they get warm. Warmer than they are. Yeah, there's some shiny stuff in here. I must have did something, mixed a color in, I don't know. Okay, that'll be the bottom. That's the top. And you can texturize this top here before you bake it, and then shade it also if you want. But if you plan to put frosting or anything, you can put a little bit of frosting in the middle, and you don't have to do that. Just depends on the cupcake. And I just left this plain because I thought I can do a little brown shading on the bottom. And see, then these will fit together. Of course, this is going to be, I'm going to texture this in a minute. Show you what, because you don't want to just stick them together like, well, you can if you want to. Cut that excess off. You can bake this like this, and then this would probably be, this is a little thick. See how thick that is? That's okay. If the filing works, or if you have a file, you can try to thin it out. Or if you're just going to use it, flatten it down, it doesn't really matter. Hey, Ricky. Ricky's not so clingy. Well, he wasn't bothering me. Now he's under there again. Take some of this off. I'm counting on that Dremel to work. Or I probably wouldn't have this so uneven, because it'll bug me. Yeah. Okay. Just taking this and putting this all together. Oops. You can take this and bake it, and then come back and paint that if you want with acrylics. You can do anything you want with it. It's smoothing out quite a bit, huh? Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Earlier I was saying about putting, like if you wanted to put strings on this or something, you can, and then you put it back in the oven, because this is already baked. It doesn't, you can put it back in the oven if you want to add pieces. And I said basket, and I think that's a basket. Maybe not. I don't know. Ahead and do this. Now this is pretty solid, the clay, I believe. Yeah, this was the Primo. It's a little thicker, I want to say a little harder than the Sculpey. I've heard people say, well, I don't like the Sculpey because it's too soft. So I'm just going to leave that. And you can sit here and work with this if you need to. Put it back in the freezer just like this. Bring it out and it'll be much easier, so you won't squish it here. Or you can just leave it. I have this little flat part here. You can get these ball tools also. I think Joann's in the clay section, and you can use a coupon on them. I want to get this more. See, I'm squishing that piece, but I'm going to go and just put a line in it with something. That's where the ball tool or X-Acto knife comes in, because you can take it and see how you can go along that line. See how much better that is. So if you smush it, I have to set it down. Oh, here. You can just go back in. See how the cornstarch made it? You can do it better like that, see? Yeah, that's one. Oops, that's a bigger side. Ricky. Better not mess with that anymore, because I know I'll just be messing it up. This right here looks like it could be a charm. You can do this. You can even use a little screwdriver on these. You just got to be careful. But see that little hole? I got this little screwdriver here, the handheld one. Take it easy and hold the other side like this. And you can do this with anything, just a toothpick, or I kind of like to do this before I bake it, because then you don't run the risk of cracking the clay. But you can do it after. It depends, you know. Try it. A little bump right here. I don't like that, but okay, I'm not gonna. Oh, you know what? Take the Sharpie. These little lines for the I'm putting those back. I mean, I don't think they were very detailed anyhow. I'm gonna have them. Where did I put it? Yeah, when I can't find something, then I know it's not good. This desk is. Just gonna see what the original balloon looked like. I mean, it's wood. That's where I took the mold from, so. Go along like that. And just indented this more to make more detail. I even have a little orange wood stick somewhere. It's just a stick used for nails usually to push back the cuticles, and it's flat like this on one end, on both ends. And I have one that has a little sanders, little sandpapers to get like under your nail. I could probably bake this after baking. We'll try it to get this straighter. Probably can use one of those too. I don't know, but I just wanted to put some more lines in there. And two, when you go to use, I'll show you, maybe shade this a little bit. It'll go inside these little lines. So that'll be pretty cool. And these I'll just kind of, they're already there. You just have to play with it, you know. If you don't like it, you just do something different next time. It'll be okay. So that. This, what I want to show you, you can take a toothpick. Sometimes this bothers me, where I went around and it flattened out some of these in the Oreo. You can just take a toothpick, see? That's what I like to do. Just put the indent in there where I flattened it out. If it doesn't bother you, don't have to do it. Gives it more of a detail on the sides, though. What the heck? Where's the end? Jeez, I've been... This cookie keeps going around and around and around. I'm like, where did I start? Jeez. Oh, okay. Yep, there it is. Yeah, looks good. Okay. And here... Oh, Ricky, baby, you can't come up right now. Rick. Sometimes I'll take this and go along the edge here, but this looks pretty good inside here where it says Oreo. I don't want to ruin it. Okay, I'll lift Ricky. Oh! Jeez. Oh, look. Hello. Hello, Ricky. Rick, what are you doing, buddy? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, look, here. Look. Whee. Where I am. He was doing good. Now don't look at my arm, baby. And this, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take this flat tool and I'll go in. Now this makes more of a rigid line, whereas if you take your toothpick, it'll make like that type of line. It won't be so straight. I'm gonna leave that. Ooh, whoops. That looks pretty good. Gotta make sure it's flat when you bake it. Okay. Now, this muffin, this is another mold. It makes a candy bar. I'll show you real quick. What I did was I just flattened the clay and then I did these by hand, you know, with a very thin end of a brush. I didn't like the way the squares were coming out, so I did it myself. Let's see if this works. See? And that's how I did the cones too. And then you just can wrap those. Where did I put the... If you wanted, you could just cut it off and make it into a square, you know, a waffle, rounded pancakes. You can take these when they're done like this and, let's see, I got these little cutters. There's a whole bunch of different sizes, but say I wanted to cut it like a little pancake or a waffle. Hey, that's an Eggo waffle. Look at that. Cool, huh? I think I'll bake it. Yeah, so you can get these cookies. They have an extruder, whatever it is, where it's a long metal tube, and then it's got these ends, almost like for cake decorating, but it's in a clay. It's got these ends that have different shapes and things. You put your soft clay inside, and then you just press it down. It comes out into the shape. But, let me put this camera up. Sorry. There. I can work it very well because either the clay was too soft or it was too hard. It didn't want to come out. So, yeah. Okay. So, with the texturizing, you can have a toothbrush, hard toothbrush, or what I do is take foil and just smush it up, and you can do that. It seems like they'll be the same, but they're not. They're different. They're all different. Like if I took that, did that, or this, see, that and that is different. Also, I took clay and I put an earring. I baked it in there. I have no idea why. Couldn't get flour. I don't know what you'd use it for, but see? Yeah, oops. Little flowers. Okay. Oh, I forgot about him. Look at the kitty cat. Isn't he cute? He was an earring. I stuck him in the clay and baked it. So, if you want to... Okay, well, your little kitty cat. You can cut them out if you want, whatever. Another thing you can do in this bottle is those little, I want to say peppercorns, if I'm correct. And what you do is just take this peppercorn and you can roll that. I just got a different clay in there, that's okay. Yeah. See that? It's different. And another thing, textures. You know, I can do it right on here. This is a little cap to glue for jewelry. It has this little needle in there, and you can go along with this. At the moment, I can't for the life of me think of why I use this for whatever things. Okay. For your teeth. Oh my gosh. This little brush, bottle brush. Yeah, okay, that doesn't work really well. My point is, you can use anything for texture. This is the little muffin top. So I want to go ahead and use this and just really firm and just get in there. It's just because it's a muffin. And like I said, if you want to use the frosting, you can use the frosting. Now I'm going to put this down because I'm going to smash it. And again, I can use this, or I made these up, put it on that. You're not going to see the bottom anyway. It's going to be on the top of the muffin bottom. Top of the muffin bottom. Okay. And then when you take the pastels and you go over this before you bake it, that really makes it, defines. These also, if you want to, you can go in there, and you can make these too if you don't want to do it with a toothpaste cap. You take your toothpick and go along. That's how those other ones were made. See, and you want to check it. And since it's a muffin, it really isn't no big deal. Now, we'd put the head pin in here before you bake it. And what I would do is take the liquid Sculpey, if it's any good. Like I said, it's very old. Probably has a date on there somewhere. Probably 2012. I would put some of that right here. Take this, put that on there, and go around the edge. And you can blend it into the bottom. See, you can blend that into the bottom. I'll do this when I do the cookies, so you don't have to sit here and watch me. That'll be in the next video. Okay, now I'll be back for one last little segment here. I want to show you how to use the pastels before we put them in the oven. I have a complete mess here. But I have to separate this. I will be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and do some shading, and before I put everything in the oven to bake, let me put this out a little. So I've got my pastels here. I'll put them on the side, but I've had these for years, most of them. Okay, they're really good to brush your clay before you bake. This is the newest one. Those scratches in there, what I do is I'll show you, scratch them, rough them up, and make it into dust, and then I use the brushes to brush on the shading for the clay. So, oops. Let me put this back over in the container. I wanted to show you what they look like. My little brushes from forever. Oh my gosh, these are so old. They're a little rough, but you know, some of them aren't so rough, some of them are. Well, like most of them are. but you don't want to really dig into the soft clay. So here, these are now, I made the Oreo, one of these in the dark, and this one. So these two will go together. It'll be a, it's going to be a tricolor because I'm going to put the Oreo middle in after these are baked. Same with the babies. I'm going to have two sides. And then before I bake them for the second time with the middle in, I'm going to put the eye pin for the charm. Same with the cupcake. The cupcake I'll do off camera because I got to check the liquid Sculpey and see how that's doing. But I'm going to put these over here and then I'll bring and shade some of them. Okay, like this leaf. Put my wireless mouse over on this other side and I keep forgetting it's there. I'm going to just physically bring this down. There. Now it'll zoom. I don't know what that is. Oops. Okay, it's probably part of the clay. Okay, so let me get my... You can see I use this one. I like these colors. Get them out. Oh my gosh. These. See? Okay, cool. Bring those over here. So, you know, it's up to you how you want to shade them, but say I want to do some different greens, what I just do is take this and just go right over the pastels like this. And it brings up this dust. Like that. Do that, and that way you can have it ready for when you're shading. You want to use the different greens. More brown. There's some brown over here too. Oops. A little yellow. Okay. So, I haven't done this in forever. So, say I'm going to take this one. You know, some people start with the lightest first, or some people start with the darkest. I'd probably go maybe a lighter one. See that? Just kind of go over this. Maybe take some dark in between. Like this. And I have no idea if this could be a feather. Well, I don't know. Whatever you want to use it for. Brown for here. You can pick it up if you want, just do the sides. Well, like I said, if you don't have pastels, you don't want to, you can get them pretty cheap though at Joann's. You can even wait and use a 60%. These will last you a lifetime. I'll go in and do a little bit more. Quit pressing so much because I'm taking the clay off. olive looks like. Ooh, that's nice. See that olive color? It's more green. The camera shows it kind of funky color, like a, I don't know, yellowish. Pukey yellow. It's not, it's green. Let's see, if I wanted to use this little smaller brush, I could take a color and then go up this, like that. See? If I put all the colors in there, nobody will ever notice what color it really is. I'm just playing anyway. See? Pretty pretty. And you can use like, I want to say a softer brush like this. I think this is for my sealer, my gloss, but that's okay. I'll wash it. Yeah, we have to gloss these up too. I think I made it into a feather. I mean a leaf. Jeez. Okay, like your frog. He's pretty dark, so go with the brown. I'm gonna have to put my light up here, I can't see. Oh, that's better, you can see now. Little eyeballs. Now, I'll probably paint him, maybe after I bake him, because he's not working with the pastels, because I think he's just, excuse me, he's too dark of a green already. So I think we'll just shade him, or make the lines maybe when he's done. Oh, you all right, Rick? Jeez, my dog's gonna start choking. Here's a Teddy Graham. Go over him with the brown. See, I thought I had another brush for like his eyes. I guess this is what you're probably gonna have to do, something like that when he's all dry. It's probably what I've done. See, it's been a while since I've done the clay. Yeah, probably some acrylic paint after he's all done, but to get shaded a little bit. Now, also it's kind of neat when you, like in ceramics, I used to dry brush the ceramics with the paints, with acrylic paints. Those are pretty cool. I'm going to I'm going to try a light gray. I don't want to ruin them. I think I put, oh yeah, I put them away. I was going to see. I think they did him also. The button was a light gray. I have a medium gray here. Back you up. And then that way, I'll probably go ahead and do the eyes when he comes out of the oven. Like I said, this is more for shading, and with these little pieces, it's kind of tough to shade in the little grooves. We'll see what we can do when they're baked also with the dry brushing. We'll try that too. Same with this little dog. Little guy, I think I made you too dirty. Oops. Oh. Too late. Let's just leave him. I'm gonna put stuff on this, like this little waffle here. You can do. It looks like a hamburger. It's probably gonna, I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna look stupid. Oops. Little pads of butter. Oh. Oh, and you know what? I think I'm going to check the Sculpey, liquid Sculpey. Because what you can do is you can take this and put it over, mix a little bit of color, and then put it, drizzle it over. Oh, it's still good. Make it look like syrup. Let's see if it works. Wait a minute. What color is syrup? Brown. And again. I don't want to add too much because then it'll just blend right in and make, you know, fill in the. That's more like frosting consistency. Usually it's a little thinner, so I'm sure it's because it's old. Like real old. Like 4 or 5 years old, 5. I don't know how it's going to drizzle, but let's add a little bit more. Ooh. Okay. What I'll do off camera too, before I bake them, I'll take that cupcake and put some of this in between the cupcake. And I'll probably put some of this because I don't want to waste, well, I've got it, so why not use it? Okay. Get back on there, butter. Well, I can't drizzle. You know what I could have done too? Let me check this bacon bond. It's probably no better. No. No, I think they're probably ready for the garbage. Now I can't see the butter. Well, I'm going to make one more pad of butter. Pad. Okay. We'll see how it turns out, right? With this key that I made, I wanted to try to go ahead and just dirty it up a little bit. It's silver. I just put some black on there to dirty it up. Black, brown. That other key that I did, that bigger one. Oops, wrong color, darn it. Just to kind of make it look a little bit old. This key here, I'm going to wait till after I bake it, and then like some of these, when I do the cookies, I'll go ahead and try the acrylics. Probably not going to be the best, but oh well, you know, I try it anyway. There's this little maple leaf. I'm going to look around too and see if I can find a softer brush. I know I had different brushes. Skull. Paint some of these and see what they look like. Something like this. You can probably go ahead and put maybe it's a deeper red in there. Ooh, that's orange. Oh, don't like it. I'll mute it down with some yellow. Oh dear. I'll go over that with acrylic paint. What the heck? Think that's it. As far as the shading, I'm gonna, check, see if I've got some more brushes too. Let me just grab my ink. And a paper. I just want to test out the stamp. I always use a pad. Where did I get this? Scrapbooking Made Simple. It was huge. It was like an 18 by 18. I swear it was huge. In fact, they even say they cut theirs in half. They can't send it whole. And then you can cut it and make, I probably have this size. I probably have 4 and one bigger one and a bunch of small ones. When it's not that much, this was a while ago. You want to stamp on some kind of a pad, okay? Learn this from the Frugal Crafter, and boy, what a difference. I don't care what stamp it is. Maybe a mouse pad. I did try to make my own from like a foam rubber. That was okay, but it's a little too soft. What this does is that when you stamp down, this will allow it to get into the crevices, because it's a little softer. So that's the reason. I'm going to show you, see what this does. I'll stamp this without that too. See what happens. Ooh, it worked. Wow. I'll take that out. Let's see. Perfect example. See how this one, look at this one. It doesn't have all of the stamp. I'll do it again. See, maybe I inked it up really good. You know what? I'll turn it over. Ink it that way I did it. But I don't have this pad under it. Turned out better. But trust me, most of the time your stamps will come out better if you use a pad like this. Something like that, or a mouse pad. It's way better. Okay. So these are not that thick. I think the thickest thing, no, isn't that, it's the little cup glass. But I'm still going to go, I'm going to go 20 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put these in for probably 20 minutes. Maybe 15. I don't know. I'll decide. Anyway. And then once they cool, I can play with them. Do the middles for the cookie. And put in the eye screw and then bake them. Do the muffin. Chocolate chip cookies. The frosting for the muffin. And then try out maybe the acrylic paints. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too boring. I haven't done clay in quite a while, but so I'm kind of thinking too as I'm, excuse me, doing the video, because there's a lot to say about clay. You can do a lot with it. So, like I said, I hope you enjoy it, and maybe we can make something. Stacy wants a poodle. Mary Jane wants a pit bull. I don't know about those. A poodle or a pit bull or a boxer or something like Ricky. The freehand is, the bathtub was really, and the phone was iffy. But I'm willing to try it. I might just try it. So, okay. Well, thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see anything else, other than, like I said, I'll do another video on the painting and the frosting, and we're going to do the sanding too. But if you want to see anything else, let me know, okay? Thanks for watching. You guys have a good day or a good night. Bye-bye.